Hi friends, Jessica here again from Ashland Public Library in Ohio, bringing you Art Academy. So today's going to be our last class here for a little while, so be sure to grab your bag here at the library so that you can follow along with today's video. Today we're going to be doing probably my most favorite class we've done thus far, which is screen printing or ink printing. It has all different names and all different ways to do it. So in school, normally you would have almost like a rubber pad that you would actually cut your design out of, and then you would roll it through a press, and then it would create your art on the cardstock. Today we're going to be doing a at-home version or the DIY version. So in your bag that you pick up at the library, or if you're following along at home, you'll find cardstock, and you will get a few pieces. So you can create a bunch of different designs or just one, whichever. And you'll also find a few of these like foam boards, which is what we're going to be making the design out of, which is really cool. And then a couple of toothpicks. And it's important, they are dull or rounded toothpicks. I find that they work a lot better than the pointy ones. You'll also find a sponge, but I've already put mine in the water, so you'll have a sponge in your bag as well. If you're doing this at home and you didn't pick up a bag, you can always just use like a really dull coloring pencil instead of a toothpick if you don't have the rounded ones, or if you have like a kebab stick, just make sure it's kind of a little bit more dull. At home, you'll also need washable markers, and they do have to be washable. If they're not washable or they are permanent, they will sink into the foam that we're using, and we don't want that. We actually want it to kind of sit on top of the foam. So this will be kind of like what we're making today, and we'll go ahead and get started. So I already have a design made because I made this one earlier, which is just a little flower. You can kind of see it there. But I'm going to go ahead and start from scratch, and you'll get, so go ahead and get out your foam board. It's like the thicker version, and it doesn't matter what side we use. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. I'm probably going to do a flower again because I think they come out really nice when I create them. And the lines are a little bit more distinctive, so I can color within them. Oh, I really like this flower. Doing nice big petals. Okay. So I don't know if you can see the reflection of my flower there. It'll get a little more clear to see once I color it in. And I'm just going to draw a stem and a couple of leaves. Oh, yes. And then for the background, I think I'm just going to do almost like wind swirlies. Okay, so I'm not sure if you'll be able to tell. You can kind of see my design. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and color our foam board. Let me get these out of the way here. The brighter colors tend to do a little bit better with this project. Black doesn't blend as well. And yellow, actually, you wouldn't think yellow would work very well, but yellow comes out really nice. Black is really the only color that I probably would stay away from during this project. All right, so I'm going to make my petals kind of this pretty maroon color. And when you color the foam, it looks like really dull and not very bright. But you can see here in the example how bright the colors get. It's really kind of cool. I've always wanted to kind of get back into printing, and I'm so happy I found this because it's so easy. You can do it at home. You don't need a lot of materials, and it's fun. Okay, so I'm gonna make my leaves or my stem green. And again, you can create whatever you like. It doesn't have to be a flower. If you want to draw a robot or an airplane, I love drawing airplanes. Let's see, what color should I make the middle? I'm gonna go with dark blue because I can. Okay, and then my background, I think I'm gonna do in like a light blue, and I'm gonna mix it. I did a light green. Did I do a light green? Yeah, I did a light green for the leaves, so then I'll do a dark green. But I'm gonna switch them. I think I'm gonna do my green up in the top and then the blue in the bottom, because there's no right or wrong to art. We can do it however we want. And it's okay if some of these colors kind of blend together. It actually creates a really cool effect once we stamp it onto our cardstock. So we'll just go through and try to cover as much of the background or the foam board as possible. Getting all the nooks and crannies. It's okay if you get in the grooves that we created with our toothpick, but try not to go all the way in the groove. It's easy to just color over top. It doesn't necessarily sink in, I guess, when you're coloring. Just don't purposely get in the grooves. And if this part takes a long time, that's okay. The washable marker will actually just sit right on top of this foam, which is what we want. So, all right. So there we go. That is my foam board colored in. So I'm just gonna set that aside for now. And this is the part that we have to be a little quick about because it takes a little finesse. It doesn't matter which side. The cardstock is the same on both sides. So we're gonna set this aside. And we're gonna get our sponge with our water. So I just put a little cup of water, and you wanna soak the sponge all the way through, but when we use it, we don't want it to be soaking wet. We kind of want to squeeze most of the water out. If you leave a little bit in there, that's probably good. And what we're going to do with our cardstock is we're going to take the sponge and we're just going to get the whole entire piece of cardstock wet. And you want it to have a nice little shine to it. This is where it takes a little finagling because you want it to be soaked, but you don't want it to be drenched to the point that it's too saturated. So my sponge is actually getting a little dry while I'm talking here. Okay, so we're gonna get it wet, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our foam board and lay it down in the middle of it so that we can get our nice print. So here we go. Get it wet one more time. And we're just gonna get a nice, good coat. Again, we're looking for that shiny, and then we're gonna take this, I'm gonna set it right in the middle. Now, when you set your foam board down on the middle of your wet cardstock, you really don't wanna move it around. It has to stay in one place, otherwise you're not gonna get a good print. So I have this like little paint roller that I was gonna try out. I didn't use this in the first one, and I'm not sure if Yeah, it's not working the way I want. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna keep your foam board in one spot and you're just gonna press down all the way around the foam board. And you just wanna get a nice press all the way through. And if you're feeling really talented, you can pick them up as long as you keep it in the right place and flip it over. It creates a little bit easier process so that you can press down all the way around. All right, so I think we're ready to see our results. Are you ready? Look how cool! I love it. I love it. It turned out beautiful. And then the really great part is this, your nice little piece of foam. If you just take it over to the sink, right now I have just my little sponge and water, but it washes right off. So you can keep using this just like a regular printing process. You can keep using this over and over. You just wipe it clean, put new colors on it. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use this exact same one. I'm gonna wipe it clean. And I'm gonna do it again. Okay, so now we're just gonna use a whole bunch of different colors. Okay, I'm gonna do green in the background. It's gonna look like a bunch of different Andy Warhol photos with all the different colors, the same picture, but different colors. Okay, so now I'm gonna do pink. Actually, I didn't use red last time, so I'm gonna use red. And I did forget to mention, with the water and the markers, the washable markers, it is nice to have a little coated work area. So if you have wax paper or parchment paper at home while you're doing this project, if you just take a couple of the corners and tape them down, that's fine. And I also wanted to mention, I have tape out here just in case you don't think you can hold your foam down on your cardstock when you're creating your image and you're pressing it down. You can tape the corners down to your cardstock. You just have to be careful when you lift it not to rip the cardstock with the tape. All right. So I have it all colored in, just like that. And I tried to use different colors than what I did before so we can kind of see before and after the different colors. So I'm going to have my foam ready so that I can flip it over. And we're just going to get this cardstock nice and wet. Again, we're looking for that nice little shiny coating all the way through the paper. Looks good. All right. Oh, I got some fingerprints at the bottom of mine. All right, so we're just going to work through and press down, making sure not to move it in any direction, but just pressing down. Okay, and I'm going to try to flip it again. Boy, I got my fingerprints all over this. Must have got some marker on my fingertips. Go figure. Okay, so I really pressed it all the way through. Let's see what I came up with. I'm so excited about this. So this is my first and my second. Isn't that cool? You can do all different types of images and create different colors on them. All right, guys, thanks for joining me for our final Art Academy class. It's been so much fun doing these classes with you. I can't wait to see you soon. Make sure you like this video, post your pictures of your beautiful art that you've created so that we can see what you guys came up with. Again, thanks, have a good one, and we'll see you soon.